young pitchers in Shane Smith. But yeah, Will Venable was a two-way player in college. Two-sport player. He played basketball and he played baseball. 9 years as a big league player. And of course, his dad Max in the major leagues as well. All right, ready to roll here on a gorgeous Friday afternoon at Wrigley. Kate Horton fires. And the first offering of the day misses at 96. Ball one, we are underway.
Where would you rather be? Beautiful day here at the ballpark.
In the air, softly hit, left center field, and it'll fall. Hydruff gets enough of it. And the little dunker out to left. Leadoff man is on, off the end of the bat.
Yeah, outer third fastball at 96 miles per hour. Hydruff gets high marks for his plate discipline. Doesn't chase pitches out of the zone. Good contact hitter. Won't do a lot of slugging. The White Sox are pretty bullish on that young man. He's just 23.
And here is Matt Dice. Horton with the plus stuff. A guy who just hasn't done a whole lot of pitching in the overall. He's only 23.
Well, there's the change up there. He only threw one of them in his last appearance, I should say. And it was a nasty one. He got a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Juan Soto. Primarily fastballs and sliders from Horton.
And that is in there for a strike. Yeah, check out this pitch. The one he threw got a really good hitter.
Yeah, I found it really interesting. He said, I hadn't thrown one all game, so I knew nobody had seen it. Nobody was expecting it. But to break it out at that point against that hitter, most impressive. That took a certain amount of guts.
Give me some Bill Rapp.
Onions. He left some laundry in the batter's box.
Well, that sweeper is the pitch that has set him apart. Again, when you consider for a second between college, the minors, and the majors, he's thrown under 210 innings since the start of 2022. Left field, Suzuki over there. Makes the catch. Seiya getting the opportunity to play defense these days with Ian Happ on the IL with the oblique strain. So one away. I mean, think about that, though, JD. Start of 2022. He hasn't even thrown 210 total innings cumulatively.
Pretty remarkable.
It was redundant. Yeah. Total and cumulative. But you understood what I was saying.
In aggregate, fastball's got a little cut too, doesn't it? A little jump, little cut. 77, 78 pitches in his outing against the Mets. Greg Counsell said he'd be really happy with 15 outs from Cade here this afternoon.
Is your one. We're getting the opportunity in the rotation with Shota Imanaga out. Shota dealing with that hamstring issue. I think the hope is we'll have a better idea by Monday what the path is to get Imanaga back and when. The one thing that jumps out when you consider Horton in his minor league career, 151 and 2/3 innings, 190 strikeouts. There goes the run. Pitches a strike, throw to second, tag, out at second. Carson Kelly cuts down Chase Mydrop. Will Venable saying, please hold. Holding.
Clock is ticking.
Still holding.
Time.
Oh, they're going to look at it.
Interesting. Chris Conroy is the home plate umpire. He is the crew chief. He was calling everybody together before the Sox decided to challenge it. So he's got something else on his mind that he wants to talk to his boys about.
Yep. So, meeting out there. Hang on one second.
After crew consultation, obstruction occurred at second base. The runner is awarded second base. This play is not reviewable.
Wow. Okay, that's what the conversation was. I got to get some clarity on this, Boog, and that's on me. Then that does. I mean, so you can't have any part of your body in front of the base. Basically, is what they're saying. I mean, his foot is in the front corner of the base as he's receiving the ball. Yeah, I think he might have beat it anyway, but
I think so as well. I would say that I slightly disagree with you a little bit. As he's receiving right there, as a general idea, most of his foot is taking up the front part of the base. You've got to give him a lane.
Right. So that back, what I'm saying is this back corner of the base.
Right here, his foot is covering the middle part of the base. Like, you've got to give him at least. Now, he got in there.
I'm giving him 3 inches. All I want to give him.
But that's not the rule, though.
Bad rule. Change the rule back.
I disagree. I think it's a good rule. I think
when the guys
should not be able to block bases.
When the guys drop their knee down and just take the base away altogether, I think that was the intent, to make that go away.
Yes. I don't think as a fielder you should be allowed to block the base at all.
Okay.
I understand how we played, but I don't have a problem with a swing and a miss. It's scored, by the way, a caught stealing and an E4. And there's that sweeper. JD, I feel like we're fighting.
No, this is good conversation. This is good baseball conversation.
I think most people would agree with you.
I guess my point is, from what I've seen on the field,
yes,
that's usually not called. So I guess I would want some definitive clarity that infielders know if any part of your foot is in front of that base, we're calling them safe.
I would disagree with you. I think that as a general idea, nowadays guys are taking the throw and they're not putting their foot in front of the base.
So they're giving him the whole base.
Most of it. Also, I don't think that Nico's trying to do it there. I think he's just trying to take the throw. And that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
One other point that I would make is it's a rule that was put in place that I also believe makes sense in later form off of what they did at the plate. You shouldn't be able to not block one of the bases, but you can block the others. That's why they did it.
You're right, and I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Here comes a 1-2.
I guess the beef I had with the way the game used to be played was guys would just drop that knee down in front of the base, and the base runner had nowhere to go.
Correct. But like, you came from a time when it was more of a contact sport too. A 1-2. Like, I don't think this is a contact sport.
We were rough and tumble back in the day.
Just Google Hal McRae or put Hal McRae second base into YouTube. Enjoy. You'll thank me. 2-2 on Vargas, the pitch.
Vargas, after a sluggish start, has turned things around here for the Sox. Former Dodger farmhand.
Plug him in at third base. After a slow start, last 19, you talk about an OPS just a shade under 900. High fly ball, left field. That is Suzuki on its way, and it's gone. Up into the wind, and just like that, it is 2-0.
That is just the 33rd home run the White Sox have hit this year, and to give you a little context, Top 3 hitters in the Cub batting order today have combined to hit 32 home runs. I don't know that this one needed a whole lot of help from the wind. It's an 84-mile-an-hour breaking pitch that settles in right over the heart of the plate. Belly button high when the Sox draw first blood.
Pitch in for a strike to Palacios. So Vargas goes deep. Stays hot, his 4th homer of the season. White Sox jump out front. It is 2-0. Through there for a strike. It's a White Sox team that'll strike out a good bunch. They're tied for 4th in the majors for highest strikeout rate offensively. Chop left side and a base hit. Well, they had Palacios to pull, and he got it between Birdie and the bag. So a 2-out single, and with a man aboard, it'll be Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah, I don't think Palacios is necessarily trying to go the other way with this one, but it's a good result for him. He got beat by that pitch. Just a little bounding ball into left field.
Tommy Hotovy out to the mound. Kate Horton.
Here's Hal McRae.
Watch this.
You'd get at least 10.
But like when I see that now, it just makes me laugh. It's ridiculous. It bears no resemblance to any other thing that happens in the rest of those games.
Don Baylor was known to be a real menace going into second, but nothing like Hal McRae, though. No. That was...
When I see those, it makes me think of the movie The Naked Gun, where they show all the highlight clips, and eventually a guy goes towards second and a tiger attacks him and eats him. Like, that's what that looks like to me. It's so absurd with a guy going into second. We're playing baseball, we're playing baseball, we're playing football.
People see that video and think that didn't really happen. Somebody just doctored that video.
Game changes. 2 outs, man at first. Horton. Vaughn. Decent power. Line drive. Caught Nico Horner. Gorgeous play. The Gold Glover laying out and steals a hit from Andrew Vaughn.
This is 25-year-old right-hander Shane Smith for the White Sox this afternoon. He was the first pick in the Rule 5 draft in the Brewers organization back in December.
Served into left field. Baldwin there to make the catch.
Run support's been a big issue for Smith. Just 1 win in 8 starts despite a glittering 2.08 ERA. So he's not used to having this early run support that the White Sox have provided here this afternoon.
Big old kid, 6'3", 240, 25 years old, Massachusetts native.
Fun for that windup too. It's a quick, herky-jerky action. He's got a fastball that averages 95, will top out around 98, a slider, a curveball, and a pretty devastating changeup that he'll feature a lot to the left-handed hitters.
Center field, Robert there to make the catch. And there's 2 down, so a couple of outs in the air. Here's a repertoire. You talked about that changeup. The lefties see it a lot.
He throws it hard. He throws it 91, 92 miles an hour. Call it a power changeup. He'll get a lot of ground balls with it.
I think the part that makes him funky is watch his right foot. It stays anchored to the rubber. It does not move, even though he's working out of the windup. So then he just goes. Watch, here we go.
Yeah, and I think that could be a little problematic for the hitters, the timing, because he goes so quickly. Just a little tap and go, almost like he's doing a dance step. Tap, and then quickly lifts that leg and delivers.
Smoked out to center. Robert is there. And an easy inning. 7 pitches, and the Cubs go 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Support him. And help support kids throughout the Chicagoland area. Request to keep playing both baseball and softball. Edgar Carroll here. Carroll, the DH, catcher by trade. Switch hitter batting left. 7, 8, 9, Caro, Rojas, and Baldwin. Softly, Horner charges and field. And a throw to first.
Hey, folks, through Sunday, the 50-50 raffle will have a guaranteed jackpot of $50.
Rojas lines a single out into left center field. Suzuki will collect. And a one-out base runner for the White Sox.
Fourth hit of the day already for the White Sox. And that one just middle at 96 miles per hour.
Baldwin getting the start in left field. Again, a White Sox team last in the majors in slugging, 28th in on base, 28th in homers, 28th in runs per game. That's been the issue, is the inability to score. They pitched pretty well. Probably been a little fortunate pitching-wise because their defense has been all right, but they don't strike people out. Here's a 1-1. Lifted out to center. PCA shading his eyes. Oh, and it falls. He was having trouble with it right from the go.
That's unfortunate. It'll be ruled a base hit. PCA loses it in the sun. This I don't know. At some point, if you can't find it, maybe yield and let Suzuki. You seem to be tracking it pretty well. That's a tough play, though.
Yep. They scored a single. And back to the top of the order. And my drop. 2 on, 1 out. Horton fires.
When you look at Cade Horton's minor league numbers, more of a fly ball type pitcher than a ground ball guy. You'd love to put that ball on the ground here, get a double play, and get out of here.
It's one of the ways the game's changed. I mean, you're starting to see sinker usage tick back up. I mean, it was plummeting basically from the start of the pitch tracking era, 08, until the last couple of years where it started to pick back up, but it was declining every year. On the line, down the left side. But I mean, JD, when we first started doing this job, and back when you played, you know, you'd sit there, a guy would get on base, and you'd say, I just need a ground ball, and then the next pitch would be a ground ball, and it'd be 6-4-3. They're not as easy to come by nowadays.
No, they're not. Hitters, you know, adopting that launch angle approach, have gotten very good at getting the low ball in the air. So pitchers counter that with the riding four-seam fastball up. That pitch tends to get hit in the air more frequently. So you try to find other ways to get that ground ball, right? A two-seamer running in on the hands. Sometimes we'll get to that ground ball. Some guys, it's the breaking pitch. Get a little rollover on a curveball. Get a pulled ground ball to the left side of the diamond.
One and two on my drive. 2 on, 1 out. Horton delivers. To the right side. Corner to second for 1. And are they going to say interference? They are, and both guys are out.
It's probably going to bring Will Venable out of the White Sox dugout to have a chat. Jeremy Rehak, the second base umpire, he's been in the middle of it here today.
extraño lo que te hago en un motel. Dime que los besos que chimba si pasan. Estoy cansado que hablemos por teléfono. Tú ves que mi casa es tu casa. Los polvos no se tasan, porque eso es entre tú y yo. Los besos que chimba si pasan. Estoy cansado que hablemos por teléfono. Tú ves que mi casa es tu casa. Los polvos no se tasan, porque eso es entre tú y yo. Imagina tú y yo, escuchando cositas, comentarios, estamos ahí, pero culpamos la Wii. Eso francés me dice, uy, vamos otra vez para París, allá donde te lo metí. Que éxtasis, contigo un frenesí. Latina de moda, diamante de Cartier, tú encima sin brasier. A tu lado, en memoria somos dos carrusel. Semanas pero ya no sé qué hacer. Solo extraño lo que te hago en un motel. Dime que los besos que chimba si pasan. Estoy cansado que hablemos por teléfono. Tú ves que mi casa es tu casa. Los polvos no se tasan, porque eso es entre tú y yo. Los besos que chimba si pasan. Estoy cansado que hablemos por teléfono. Tú ves que mi casa es tu casa. Los polvos no se tasan, porque eso es entre tú y yo.
Things off as we go to the bottom of the second. What did you think of the interference call?
I'm a little surprised by it, to tell you the truth. We'll take another look or two, I'm sure.
He might have just gotten his foot, and I think Dansby sold it well.
You can make contact with the middle infielder turning a double play. You're supposed to take a direct path to the base.
You think they were going to get him turning?
They weren't going to turn that anyway. Yeah.
He's hit right field, Michael Busch. Michael's been cold last 16 coming in at just 170.
Let's take another look at that play that ended the top half of the inning. Baldwin looks pretty clean to me. He got a piece of Dansby, but it didn't look to me like he went out of his way. He's on the base,
yep,
in line with the base. I think this is a bad call. It's a good break for the Cubs and a good job by Dansby. If he did indeed sell that one a little bit.
Here's the pitch to Kelly.
That was a double play, Boo. And they're brought to you by Elgin Hyundai. Home with a 20-year and 200,000-mile warranty on every new car. Whether you like the call or not.
Love that call.
Double play. And it's
brought to you by Elgin. He swings through that and a count 1-1. Kelly now 30 years young. Debuted as a 22-year-old in 2016. As a top prospect with the Cardinals.
Off to a blistering start with an OPS up over 1,000. Reached the quarter pole of the season. Putting together an all-star campaign, perhaps.
Yeah, no question, worthy of all-star consideration as it stands now. A 1-2.
Doesn't have enough plate appearances to be listed among the league leaders. See Maya splitting the catching duties for the Cubs this year. Both of them having very solid seasons.
Busch at first, nobody out. 2-2. Up towards left center field, sinking into the touchdown and bang up against the wall. And then hands go up and the runners will stop. to the IV. And the double.
Kelly's doing it all. Hitting for average. He's slugging. He's taking his walks. This time, a couple hops into the ivy. It disappears in there. All visiting outfielders atop. Don't reach. You reach for it. It's in play. I surrender, officer. Surrender. Wasn't me.
Hands up. By the way, the ivy has, I mean, it's exploded in how thick it's gotten over the course of the last, 10 days? I'd say the ivy needs a little haircut.
Oh, yeah, you gotta let it do its thing. I think we're not at 100%. We're awfully close.
Yeah, no doubt. Swing and a miss from Dansby Swanson.
Oh, this is the guy you want up there right now. He's been swinging the hottest bat for the Cubs over the last couple of weeks. Seen that batting average jump about 60 points.
And he has been just clobbering the fastball. See what Smith gives him. Swing and a miss, and he chased the breaking ball.
A little extra anxiety with a couple guys in scoring position, infield pulled in. You're thinking contact, 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 and sometimes that leads to expansion.
Well, JD, this would be a nice time for the first big league hit for Moises Ballesteros. Shane Smith deals.
There's the fam. They're here, ready to celebrate. More and more in the modern game, we're seeing managers play their infield in situations like this. Used to be you'd stay back, you concede a run to get an out with two men in scoring position, but we see a lot of this these days. And Moses hit it on the ground all four times he was up the other day.
What's the overriding thought? I mean, this feels like a game that's got a chance to be high scoring.
Right. And so normally, early in any game, and certainly on a day like today with the wind blowing out, you're preventing the big inning. You're playing to prevent the big inning, so you would keep your infielders back.
Coming home, safe at the plate. Bush able to get his hand in. They play the infield in, and it doesn't work.
Bush coming down the line. As soon as he sees that ball on the ground, off he goes. So he's moving on contact. The evasive slide apparently gets the back corner of the plate before Feist can apply the tag. I don't know if he ever got him.
Fielder's choice, RBI.
That's a good athletic play by Bush.
So the first RBI for Moises Ballesteros.
Yeah, see, families, man, they're fired up about anything. First loud foul, they're going to be jumping up and down. That's our guy, 21 years old.
Infield creeping in that time for Ballesteros, by the way. He doesn't turn 22 until November. He said the other night he's the fourth youngest player in the majors. On the ground to short. Coming home with this one. Tag at the plate. And safe as Dice dropped the ball.
Fielder's choicing the heck out of him here in the second inning. So, in a sense, the infield in strategy has paid off twice in that they've got ground balls where they had a chance to record an out at the plate. First time it was a great slide. This time, Dice had him dead to rights, didn't catch the baseball, didn't hang on.
Fielder's choice, E2, no RBI. And here's Birdie. And a swing and a miss. White Sox, according to the advanced metrics, they're tied for 21st in outs above average in the majors, so below average. By defensive runs saved, they're 24th. So it's not been a very good defensive performance thus far for the White Sox. Birdie takes inside.
A couple pitches in this sequence have not gone Smith's way. A couple on the edge that he's not gotten called. And Dice is going to go out and have a chat with the rookie right-hander.
So Dice and Smith. Quick meeting out there. Time for the Nissan breakdown, and we focus on most starts by rookies this year. The White Sox far and away the leader. Dodgers, Orioles tied with a dozen apiece for the Cubs. This is their first start by a rookie, Cade Horton. That was our Nissan breakdown. Nissan makes cars the thrill. Experience the thrill yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com.
Yeah, that's a good breakdown, Boo.
Thank you.
Way to break it down, man.
Fraction. There's a throw to second. Back in there is Ballesteros.
I was looking at the White Sox roster earlier today. The current rotation, Bryce Wilson is the only one with more than a year of Major League service time.
Nice try to frame that for Chris Conroy, and it was there, but Birdie gets a break. So 2 aboard and 1 out. Cubs already have tied things up. Right-hander ready. 3-2. And that is in there, and Birdie is gone. Let's send it downstairs in T-Mac.
I got the real breakdown for you. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay, so Michael Busch comes home, safe, and then the Jumbotron is replaying him coming home. He's smiling, admiring himself. Yep, safe! Score it in your scorebook, people. That is safe, okay? That's a fielder's choice.
That's
Michael
right.
Busch scores a run.
Well, that's a great catch by you, because it's one of the things I don't know that we focus on quite enough. JD, in today's world, there are video boards everywhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, after every swing, after every play, guys are looking to see, was I safe? Was that a strike? Did I hit it well?
Did I swing at a strike? What a cool play I made. Dig me. Look at me leaving my feet to catch that line drive.
It's the Budweiser broadcast booth. Dig us.
Yeah. We used to, back in the day, the only thing I could look forward to was hanging chickens on the line in Montreal. Every time you try a pickoff throw, they'd have a chicken.
Speaking of Dig Me, let's send it back down to Taylor.
Yeah, that's right. I am Dig Me, but it's also why in-game video is so important to these players, because they've all now been in a generation where they can get immediate feedback. Look at the guys in the dugout right now. They're all looking back on their swings. Was that pitch where I thought it was? Every guy, part of his routine is just looking at his previous at-bats, and it's a huge part of the way they approach the modern game.
Yeah, it's well said. Immediate feedback is the way these guys, this generation of players, that's how they've learned.
It's because my generation of parents has stuck a camera in front of our kids' faces their whole lives growing up. Put on a show. Do a play. Make us smile. Make us happy.
We should get a Polaroid camera for up here.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And then we can just tape pictures up behind.
Well, we put it in requisition a couple of years ago, so it hasn't passed.
But then T-Mac's going to get mad because she's going to get foamed. 3-2. That is hammered down the line. If it's fair, it's trouble. That one is gone. Hector Armstrong, 3-run blast. And just like that, Cubs lead it. PCA has a dozen homers. Raise the roof.
That's just the second home run that Shane Smith has allowed this year. It's the 12th one PCA has hit, and we talked about PCA a lot. With his speed, you might think, well, this is a guy who should hit the ball on the ground and utilize that speed. There's plenty of slug in there. He just delivers yet another long ball.
He is a special, special player. And again, JD, you go back to Hector Armstrong, and one of the stats you can focus on, he leads the majors in swing rate. Normally, it's hard to be successful swinging that much. He's an outlier. He's a special talent because if you throw it in the zone, he has slug in the zone, and he continues to improve his in-zone contact. So, man, he is fun to watch and continues to get better and better. Line drive out towards right center field. That's a big hit. Tucker towards second. He's thinking about third. Tucker is in. It's a triple. Cubs have hit for the cycle in the inning.
Yeah, I think Kyle Tucker knew that he had an opportunity for the team cycle. And that's why he really turned on the Jets after rounding second base. He's been scuffling here lately with the puck 83 over his last 19 games. But the approach continues to be really good. Beautiful swing there. Got his eyes on the ball the whole way. Says, yeah, I can make it.
And JD, worth noting, he took that pitch, he hit a slider. JD, since April 26th, starting then, Kyle Tucker had been 1 for his last 21 against breaking pitches. So against sliders and curves, they've been throwing him a steady diet. He'd been struggling with them. And right there, he got the slider and he squared it up. And for Tucker, it is triple number 4.
Right, and when you think of Kyle Tucker, you don't necessarily think 3 base hits. Kind of like with PCA, you don't normally think home runs, but he's changing the thinking.
Yes. You better start thinking home runs if you're facing him, right? This one drilled out towards left center field. The hit parade continues. In to score is Tucker. Suzuki cruises into second. And the Cubs have taken a 2-0 deficit and turned it into a 6-2 lead.
Well, Cubs offense has cooled off here in recent days, but this is what we've seen from most of the season. One good at-bat after another. Crooked numbers, big numbers. The longest time they were averaging better than 6 runs per game. And it's a 6 spot they've thrown up here in the second inning.
But one of the runs will be unearned because of the error at the plate by Theis. Remember, the inning started with a single by this guy, Michael Busch.
There's that nasty changeup.
That is a Chris Kamka nugget right there. Homer, triple, double over a 5-pitch span. All right, I made that up. One of you two guys. The Cooper Kamka
The dynamic duo. Yeah.
Over 5 pitches.
Whether the runs are earned or not, Shane Smith not used to getting knocked around like this. Coming into play today, opposing batters hitting just 204 against him.
Bush down on strikes. And the inning comes to a close. Huge inning. You talk crooked numbers. Yep. Pete Armstrong, launch mode. Homer number 12. That's the big hit in the inning. And the Cubs lead at 6-2.
So the reason I got to Cooperstown is because I played with Cal and I played with Eddie and I played with some of the greatest players ever. And, you know, I just had to figure out how I did my job, and I was honored to have some of the best players that ever played put on uniforms, and they happen to be Oriole uniforms. If there's ever any doubt that I'm 78, all I got to do is look at my old cards and I know.
I'm gonna go check out Food Truck Row. So, what did you guys get today?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Both of you got the same thing. Are they that good?
Oh yeah.
Got a hot dog and some fries.
Just kind of basic ballpark.
Chicken bacon sandwich.
Philly cheesesteak
Okay.
and some.
Crinkle cut fries.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We're from Dallas.
Dallas. That's what's fun about baseball. It brings different regions together, not just the ball and glove and bat, but what we're eating.
As we go to the third, and the Cubs have taken a 2-0 deficit and turned it into a 6-2 lead thanks to that guy, Pete Armstrong, his 12th homer of the year. First one to Matt Theis is in for a strike. JD, he doesn't hit wall scrapers, huh?
No, he doesn't. No,
He gets into it. Taylor McGregor got a chance to visit with Justin Turner pre-game for the Xfinity 120 seconds, and she asked Justin Turner, tell us something about PCA that we don't know, and the thing that Justin mentioned was the idea of how driven Pete is to be great. It's been impressive to see the improvements he's made. They stand out at the plate, but the improvements have been pretty drastic.
Yeah, for a kid when he first came to the big leagues, there was a lot of talk. Well, he can't handle velocity up, and he can't do this, and he can't do that, and people focusing on what he doesn't do. But he does so many things so well, and this is the one thing we didn't know he would do as well as he has, though, and that's hit the ball out of the ballpark. Big high finish. Okay, that's the dilemma for the pitchers, and that's probably why you talk about the swing rate and how he's an outlier. You tell yourself as a pitcher, because of the speed, I can't walk this guy because he's going to steal bases on me. So that's the prevailing narrative around him right now. Don't walk him. He's going to steal second. He might steal third on you. So you're going to be a little more aggressive. You're going to throw more strikes than maybe you should.
Yeah, I agree.
But you got a guy with such a high swing rate, and that'll probably start to change. Scouting reports will change on PCI, I would think, and they would start to spend more time out of the zone.
It's hit hard, foul. Downstairs, and Taylor.
Boog, you guys talking about just how PCA wants to be great. That's something that within the last year has really stood out to the coaching staff, his routine that he's developed at the major league level. And we were telling the story the other day. Before anyone else gets to the ballpark, Pete is out on the field taking tee work twice a week with Dustin Kelly. It's part of his routine. He doesn't like hitting in the cage with everyone else during batting practice because he feels like it speeds him up. So he gets here before everyone, goes out onto the field, does his tee work, T-work in his routine and just developing makes him successful when he's not playing has been a big part of what has helped him when he is on the field.
Greg Council last year talked a lot about when Pete, the last 2 months, got into a good groove, how impressed he was with the routines that he's delivered. Well, it's delivered, I mean, look at this. Since April 12th, most extra base hits. Pete Crow, Armstrong, Shohei Ohtani, and Aaron Judge. That's incredible. Brought to you by Intelligence Center, powered by CDW and AMD.
And those aren't hustle doubles.
No.
I mean, he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Third, big hop for Birdie, who takes it in. It's played by John, and a good stretch by Bush.
A tricky little in-between hop here that the former goaltender has to deal with. Hangs in there. Gets his man.
Taylor mentioned something about PCA not liking to hit on the field. It's something you hear more and more guys talk about. Kyle Tucker has mentioned it. It was something Cody Bellinger mentioned a lot. And those guys don't hit on the field. They don't like the pace of standard on-field batting practice because it's fast. It's one after the other, like we're on a clock.
Yeah.
And so the work that for many guys they want to get in is at their own pace so that they can correct what they can correct. It's practice. And so that's at least part of the reason why some guys will not hit on the field. Pete Armstrong back turning, looking, and that one is gone. Vargas with the home run, and that is his second of the day. And it's 6-3. A line drive to center field.
After his sluggish start, he apparently made some kind of a mechanical adjustment, and I would say it's paying off. Looked like they were trying to run that ball in, and again, it's middle at 95 miles per hour.
It's his first career multi-homer game. Yeah, we talked with Glenn Casper and Darren Jackson pregame, and they were saying there was a mechanical tweak. Is that one? Nevada Palacio Sales.
Got Fabian. I think that's Fabian down there.
Pretty sure.
I can imagine he'd miss Cubs White Sox here at Wrigley. All the stars come out for Cubs White Sox. Got to read the outfielder. Didn't panic. Oh, sorry, lady. Okay.
She got the ball.
Got the ball. Seems to be all right.
By the way, that is the first multi-homer game from a White Sox player this year. I guess for Vargas, he was getting a little too much movement with the hands and trying to load.
Yeah.
The 2-2. I feel like he hasn't gotten as much chase as he would like. He's thrown a fair number of pitches at the bottom part of the strike zone and then gotten both the slider and the curve to tumble out. And I feel like the White Sox hitters haven't chased too much. 3-2. Left field, Seiya Suzuki is there to make the catch. White Sox get a run back. Cubs still lead at 6-3. Beautiful shots from our Megalodon camera, powered by Nissan. Nissan makes cars the thrill. Experience the thrill yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com.
Let's open this up. Take a look at what we find. Looks like we've got Lauren Shahadi.
Animation is great.
We got Robert Flores, one of the stars of MLB Central with Lauren Shahadi. Then we got Mark DeRosa. Look at that. He looks like Superman, does he not? Right?
He was when he was with the Cubs.
Harold Reynolds looking ripped in a tracksuit in Studio 42. There I am. The hair's all
I know this guy.
Look at that jawline.
I'm Jonathan Mayo, and for more than 20 years, I've traced the path of baseball's rising stars, navigating the back roads of the national pastime and basking in the glow of small-town America's spirit, where the team is woven into the fabric of everyday life, where it's more than just a game. It's a celebration of the people, the traditions, and the culture that give these places their soul. This is Grassroots.
From about 1905 to
the things coming in that JD noted, he had really shut down left-handed hitters. But here in this one, a couple of big hits. PCA 3-run homer. Kyle Tucker a triple.
Kind of out of sync right now. You can see a little frustration in the body language. He just hasn't really been able to settle in, and the Cubs ambushed him there in the second. Defense let him down a little bit for sure, but some mistakes over the heart of the plate. I haven't seen a lot of that power changeup either.
Lee will take his base. Lead off then is aboard.
Shop Riley House for the best selection of team gear and local gifts from the most popular.
Carson Kelly has now walked 21 times and struck out 13. There's a strike to Swanson.
It's crazy, right? The Carson Kelly story.
Yeah.
I mean, we always talk about the player being, the back of the baseball card will tell the story. And normally when we're telling that story, it's about a player who's struggling, who you assume is going to start to ascend. Carson, it's just a completely different guy.
But also fun because there's a lot of self-awareness in terms of what he's been through, his journey. When you think for a second, JD, he was one of the main pieces in the Paul Goldschmidt trade. I mean, you're trading Paul Goldschmidt in his prime to the Cardinals, and Luke Weaver and Carson Kelly go over, and
he was the heir apparent to Yadier Molina, right? Yep. St. Louis. He got to the big leagues when he was just 21. Didn't get a lot of opportunities with St. Louis because when you're behind Molina, you just don't get that many chances.
But that was in December of 18. The Diamondbacks ended up releasing him. Up. Makes the catch. Swanson is retired. I talked to Carson about being released by the Diamondbacks, and one of the guys that came to talk to him about it was Christian Walker. And you look at the journey for Christian Walker, a guy who's won 3 Gold Gloves. He's turned into, a big-time power hitter, just signed a big free agent deal. But Christian Walker was a guy who was originally a 4th-round pick. Braves got him off of waivers, then the Reds got him off of waivers, and then the Diamondbacks got him off of waivers. So Christian Walker comes to the Diamondbacks in 2017, reputation as a below-average defender, and he gets better and turns himself into that player. Carson Kelly said Walker said to him, this could be the best thing that ever happened. Ballesteros hits into the fielder's choice.
No obstruction, no interference.
Yep.
Nothing going on at second base you need to pay attention to. Well, you know, and we talk about that, you know, the back of the baseball card cliche. It's true, except there are times when it's not. I mean, guys have outlier seasons or make drastic changes in their approach. Maybe the greatest example, Jose Bautista, you know, solid player with Pittsburgh. Went to Toronto, change of scenery, change of approach. Started hitting home runs at a Ruthian pace.
Yep. In for a strike. Cubs lead at 6-3. We're in the bottom of the third. Friday afternoon at Wrigley. Rivalry weekend. Cross-town series as Horner lifts one in the air. Down the right side. Near the railing. Bobbling. No catch. No catch. As that one hit the netting. Brennan Miller on the call.
Had it momentarily, had it pop out of his glove, and recovered it, but I think it hit the netting before he was able to secure it. Yeah. Good umpiring, good hustle to get over there, get the angle on that. Let's bring Gene Steratore in here.
It's the third, Vargas to second, and they get the force. Gene Steratore. Area code. I love that. Kate Horton back to work. A swing and a miss. Good pitch right there.
Hey, there's that chase you were looking for. Good sharp breaker. do damage. Got a little greedy.
Here's your 2. Pico Armstrong waiting on that. Onto a knee.
We've not seen many examples prior to today with PCA battling the elements here. And that one blooper that he lost, and this time brings him to his knees, literally.
Fouls went off with PCA's glasses. I feel like that we've seen those big giant sunglasses sort of come into vogue now, so I don't think they're Oakleys. We got some. Are we doing something different now? I think we might be rocking some flip downs. That was the changeup. Good pitch.
Change piece. Carroll kid. He's got a good approach. Look at his minor league numbers. Career. 399 on base percentage. Just 22 years old. He's one of their top prospects.
Ready to work and fires. Birdie to his left. Instead, it from his backhand throws him out 2 away.
Cubs baseball is presented by Fast Play from the Illinois Lottery. Download the Illinois Lottery app to play today.
Hey, by the way, huge Cub fan, Brian O'Connell. It's his birthday today. I believe it's a biggie. Am I allowed to say it's the 6-0? I think it just did. BOC, happy birthday.
Shares a birthday with some notables in the baseball world.
Go.
Hall of Famer Jack Morris celebrating today. Big Daddy Rick Russell. Rick Roden. Billy Martin. Rick Russell might be one of the most underrated. Cub fans, go to MarqueeSportsNetwork.com for the latest news. Cubs news, actually. And in-depth feature stories presented by Jeff Vukovich, your local Nationwide insurance agent. Visit JeffVuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. You'll get Cub news. You won't get breaking news, and you'll get Cub news there.
I think he changed his sunglasses out from when he lost the ball in the sun. Double check on that after the game. Cade Horton, the pitch count climbing. The 1-2.
Another example of what you were talking about, the chase breaking ball with 2 strikes. Baldwin looked like he saw that one out of the hand. Recognized early. Was able to lay off. And then if you threw him another one, if he could lay off again.
Runner takes off. Pitches, taps softly to third. Birdie up with it. And throws out Baldwin. Well done.
Left hamstring strain. He's been throwing nearly every day. He was out in the field again today doing long toss on flat ground. Craig Counsell said that on Monday is when we'll get the real update on him to decide the timeline. So this was earlier today. Him out in the field. On Monday, they'll really decide the plan moving forward and when we'll know the timeline upon his return. And then as for Ian Happ, you can see him running out on the field. He was out in the outfield as well, running around. He's progressing towards taking swings. He's dealing with that oblique injury, eligible to come off of the injured list on Tuesday. So over the weekend, they'll decide if he is progressing well enough to take swings, which will decide whether or not he's able to come off of the injured list on Tuesday.
Again, the Cubs offensively, it's been a real strength this year. So you want Ian Happ to come back and be healthy and ready. Slice the other way.
And still at that portion of the season where you're going to be cautious bringing guys back from these injuries, because you come back early and you blow something out, it could cost you a significant amount of time. Second half of the season down the stretch, you push guys a little bit more perhaps. Just a quarter of the way through the season, you're going to be very patient. Cubs are in a stretch now where they're playing 21 consecutive games against teams with losing records. It started with their series against the Marlins